Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, the President meets with World Bank Managing Director, asks officials to hasten the return of stolen funds. Federal government promises to fish out herdsmen attacking farmers and communities across the country as President Muhammadu Buhari meets with the Governor of Enugu State. Counsel to the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, calls on CCT Chairman to disqualify self from ongoing trial on alleged false declaration of assets. And US presidential hopeful Donald Trump criticizes America's foreign policy.
And on Business News tonight, World Bank to support Nigeria on good governance, infrastructure and agriculture.
On Sports News tonight, 2016 Rio hosts receive Olympic flame as the 100-day countdown to the global event begins.
We begin tonight with the President's request, asking the World Bank to do the needful by ensuring that it hastens the return of Nigeria's stolen funds, especially the one held by Swiss authorities. During a long meeting with the Managing Director of the World Bank, Sri Indrawati, today, President Muhammadu Buhari made a specific demand for the repatriation of an additional $320 million in Switzerland, which was taken from Nigeria illegally under the late head of state, General Sani Abacha. One of the conditions given by Swiss authorities for the repatriation of the funds is that it should be expended on implementation of social programs for the benefit of all Nigerians, which will be monitored by the World Bank. Briefing State House correspondents, the World Bank boss explained that the visit also gave her an opportunity to engage the Nigerian government on issues related to job creation, security, anti-corruption and rebuilding the Northeast.
This is a good opportunity for us to discuss with the government to understand the challenge that Nigeria economy is now facing. Just like many other countries in the world, which is now facing with the weak global economy, the low commodity price, including oil price, the challenge of climate change, the challenge on the security. These are all the issues that we discuss and have a good opportunity to meet with all the government to understand. We also see that Nigeria, under the leadership of President Buhari, is now launching the objective of, first, of course, restoring stability and security. The second one is creating a job and eradicating poverty. And the third is fighting against corruption. I think this is a very commendable goals. So we discussed with the government about how we can support more in order for the government, under the leadership of President, can achieve the goals. We have the opportunity to meet with the governor, 5 governors of state, in order to discuss more on our program to support the Northeast region, especially dealing with internal displaced people, and how to restore both the livelihood of the people with the development program. So we discussed both in terms of what is the area of priority and the mode of engagement and the operational detail of how this is can be used in a most effective way.
And from the meeting with the World Bank Managing Director to security issues now, the President today promised to go after those behind the recent attacks on communities by herdsmen. He condemned in very strong terms the attacks on a community in Enugu State, saying that his administration is committed to safeguarding lives and property. President Muhammadu Buhari said that as a matter of national priority, his administration will give clear instructions to the armed forces and the police in order to stop what he describes as a carnage. In the meantime, the President is scheduled to meet tonight with Governor Ifeanyi Uwani to receive further briefing on the attack on Nimbo community. In the meantime, the message of the President is being echoed by the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. He said in Abuja today that the federal government will stop at nothing in ensuring that those perpetuating this crime across the country will be dealt with.
Let me use this platform to condemn in the strongest possible terms the attack perpetrated on the Ufabu Nimbo community in Uzo Iwani area of Enugu State on Monday. I deeply sympathize with those who lost their dear ones, as well as those who lost their properties in the attack. I've directed the Chief of Defense Staff and the Inspector General of Police to secure all communities under attacks by herdsmen and to go after all the groups terrorizing innocent people all over the country.
Also, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has condemned the attack on Nimbo community in Uzoai local government area of Enugu State as suspected Fulani herdsmen. Mr. Arase, who visited the community to commiserate with the victims of the attack, says that his visit is aimed at assessing the situation and subsequently plan on how to find a permanent solution to the scourge. He was accompanied by the State Commissioner of Police and other top police officers. The IGP announced the construction of a new divisional police station in the area.
The death of one person diminishes humanity. I am not concerned about the number of people that one person that dies diminishes humanity, and that is why I decided to come and have a on-spot assessment of the situation, because most of the stories we have out there sometimes they are at variance with what is really on ground. Now that I'm here, I've been able to see what actually happened. We should be able to find some solutions to the problem, but I can assure every Nigerian that nobody takes the life of any other Nigerian and goes free with it.
Well, recently, Nigerians have been inundated with reports of attacks and killings by herdsmen in some parts of the country. Although the herdsmen themselves have consistently denied the allegations, evidences have been presented linking them to the attacks. In all of these, the Nigeria police, as it stands, says that the latest case in Nimbo in Enugu State is one of great concerns, and looking away, they've been accused the attackers embarked on a killing spree. But the police believe that in all cases it has done its best. Joining me now to look at this very disturbing situation is a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mr. Amakola Uzo. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the news at 10. Now, as you know, the greatest challenge today is stopping these supposed herdsmen from carrying on this attack of lawlessness and killings. Can the police handle this?
Yes, of course, they could. I believe they would. The Inspector General and his men are capable. I believe they will be able to handle it.
Now, as you know,
if they have the support of the government gives them instructions, do this, do that, police will be able to do it. They are very, very assertive.
Now, as you know, the President is meeting with Governor of Enugu State on this latest attack in Nimbo community. Hopefully, a strong step will be taken after the meeting. But do you reckon, my apologies, what do you reckon would be the solution to this problem, and one that is more of a permanent status?
Well, the solution is that people should be held accountable for their actions. I don't see how anybody comes from anywhere, invades a community, carries out all this carnage, and gets away with it. With all the courts, the judiciary in power, there's no reason anybody will get away with this kind of barbaric acts. So the permanent solution is to prosecute whoever is behind this. Not just the herdsmen. There are people who are owning the cattle. There are people who are giving them, who are paying them. And so those people should be fished out. If we don't go behind for the people who are behind them, we'll not be able to get anywhere. Those ones that are called herdsmen have no capacity whatsoever. It is the people who own those cows. There are people who are the power behind them. So they should be fished out and prosecuted.
How do you suggest that fishing them out should take shape? How do we get to fish them out?
Well, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Arase, talks about intelligence-led policing. They should get behind the people, the curtain, and find out who are the owners of this business. It's a business venture. People should be restricted to their communities. People should be restricted to their communities, to certain areas. You don't just wake up and invade people's homes. This is a country that is governed by law. The rule of law is paramount. So they should remain where they ought to be and carry out their business, and not going around chasing people out of their homes and killing them and perpetrating all these forms of inhumanities to men. It's unfortunate. So police should go after them with all the intelligence and competence they have. They should be able to fish them out and prosecute them.
So finally, just before I let you go,
if they're identified.
Just finally, before I let you go, what punishment would you recommend for this acts?
It's acts of murder, so it's a capital punishment. You either give them life jail or you prescribe death punishment, capital punishment, maximum punishment. That will solve the problem.
Retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Amakulo Uzo, I want to thank you for speaking to us on the News at 10 from our Abuja studio. And in part 2, after the break, police fact-finding team visits Nimbo community to report back to the Inspector General of Police. Stay with us.